welcome to this special edition of Retinal Realities, brought to you by Roche Products South Africa and hosted by me, Claudette Medefindt. Vision accounts for over 80% of the sensory information that reaches your brain. Losing any part of this critical information presents a huge challenge to the millions of people worldwide that live with vision loss. Retina South Africa works to create awareness, offer support to patients, and is part of the global search for treatments for retinal vision loss. And one of the major causes of vision loss is age-related macular degeneration, which is damage to the cone photoreceptors that lie in the center of the retina and give us our fine focus vision. Here to tell us more about this is somebody who is affected by age-related macular degeneration. Our special guest, Caryl Baum, a wife, a mother, a grandmother, and a retired lawyer. Caryl is the Deputy Chair of the Management Committee of Retina South Africa and a member of the Governance Committee. She has a special interest in the risk management of the organization. Her vast legal experience and her wise counsel are of great strength to the Management Committee of Retina South Africa. She is an amazing person who does not let her vision loss caused by AMD affect her busy life and her contribution to the strength of Retina South Africa. She is a member of the Consumer Committee of the South African National Council for the Blind and is an inspiration on how to cope with low vision. Welcome, Caryl.
Hi, good morning, Claudette. It's an honor to be here. Thank you.
Caryl, can you tell us more about your journey with age-related macular degeneration?
Thank you, Claudette. Can we call age-related macular degeneration AMD for short? It's such a tongue-twisting name for a condition. So, yes, I would like to start by saying that everybody has a story to tell, and every story is unique. So my story began about 10 years ago. I'm short-sighted and also wear glasses. So during a routine eye examination, my optometrist noticed that there were some changes in my sight, and he referred me to an ophthalmologist. He conducted a series of tests and scans. One was to read the visual charts. When I closed my right eye and used my left eye, I had difficulty in recognizing the letters as they were like wavy, out of focus and blurry. I was then diagnosed with early stage dry AMD. To be honest, I could still see very well, so my life did not change. However, it was a shock to me. I mean, anything like that can be shocking. My ophthalmologist sat me down and he explained the condition to me. That would be progressive loss of my central vision, which would mean that I would potentially have to give up driving. I would have to make significant changes to my work and to my home environment. My reading and my writing would be affected, which would make it very difficult for me to continue with my career as a legal advisor, what with all the perusal of documentation and all that goes with it. My mom had been diagnosed with AMD a few years earlier, so I knew what I could expect, as I had to support her through her own challenges. We both had to navigate our way through the changes in our lives, but my mom was an inspiration. She was incredible. The way that she handled the whole situation made it more easier for me to actually accept. I lost my central vision in both eyes quite relatively quickly over a period of about 4 years.
Wow. So it's in the family, but having your mother have it, I don't know if that's a help or a hindrance. But in your case, it was a help, as I had in my family, also my condition. So I knew what to expect, but it also didn't come as such a terrible shock. We know that central vision is very important, and we know that in AMD, it causes loss of central vision, but it's different in every person. So what exactly do you see?
This is an interesting question. Most diagrams or simulators that you get like glasses, they look like glasses, representing AMD, show like a round black circle in the middle of a frame. However, everybody with AMD will tell you that they see differently. My own experience is that I see a smudge in the middle of my central vision. It is light in color, and it appears like a series of black and white dots, moving as one would see the movement in like bees in a beehive. I actually feel like I could swipe it away with my hand in order to see clearly. I do have peripheral vision, so I can still see enough, such as the general layout of a room or movement around somewhere, like moving around a mall, or even see some large objects. But I have no depth perception, which is a difficulty, so then I can't see steps and that kind of thing, or anything that's going downhill or whatever, like something like that.
Wow, it is a challenge. We know that loss of vision affects your mobility in so many different ways. So what are some of the biggest challenges that you have faced after your diagnosis?
I think initially you'll always say that it's a loss of independence. I was no longer able to drive, which was a huge problem for me. Remember that in those days, my children were still in South Africa, so I couldn't drive my children home from school, so my grandchildren home from school, or do any visiting or going to the shops. Everything was a problem for me. But the biggest challenge that probably I have is that I can no longer recognize people as I cannot see faces. As you said, first and foremost, I'm a wife, a mother, and a grandmother. My children live overseas now, so I'm unable to see their beautiful faces over a video call. So it really affects me. I'm unable to read books or even write properly. Images on the TV are incomplete. Try finding a size in a clothing store or reading instructions on a manual where the writing is minuscule. But my best is figuring out the male or female toilets with all the very funny images that they use today. So there has had to be an emotional adjustment, accepting that my vision wouldn't improve and also learning to rely on others.
And that's quite a difficult step to take, losing that independence and having to ask your spouse or your friends to help you. But you, like me, have a really supportive spouse, and I think that does make a huge difference. But how do you currently manage your daily life with your vision loss?
Losing my independence, I think, is a misnomer. I did not lose it all. Firstly, I asked for help. I explained to my family and friends what my difficulties were, and I asked them for help wherever necessary. As you say, my husband is my rock. He's my taxi driver and my super smart shopper. Ask him about any of the bargains that are out there, and he'll be able to tell you. Never before, I can tell you, when I could see, did he ever go to the shops for me. I reached out to organizations like Retinal South Africa for assistance. I have developed a strong support network of family, friends, and professionals. I also use a low vision optometrist and an OT who specializes in low vision, and together they all help me to navigate my daily tasks. It's amazing how resilient one can get when we have the right support. Daily life can be difficult. Cooking, reading, even walking around in unfamiliar places can pose problems for me. So adapting my environment by using effective lighting, contrast, and moving objects that would impede my walking in my own home, using special labels to put on appliances, and even a device that I put in my teacup and that will beep when the cup is full of water. I have a chair right next to the television. I write my recipes in large print on a whiteboard so that I can refer to the instructions. It's quite easy. You can just go up to it and see what you've written. Hopefully it's written, nicely. And I also take out all the ingredients before I start. I also listen to books through an audiobook platform.
Wow, you have such an organized person. I'm not surprised, but it just shows you how simple techniques and common sense can actually help to make your life more organized. But there are, of course, specialist devices. And what apps and assistive devices have you found especially helpful for living with AMD?
Well, first of all, I must admit that I use a white cane wherever I go. I rely on this for my mobility and safety, and to show people or let people recognize that I have a visual impairment. It has become a part of me, and I don't move without it outside of my comfort zone. A few years ago, having left it at home, I stepped into a pothole and broke my foot. So I definitely have learned to take it wherever I go. You have to be taught by a professional to use the cane, especially to navigate roads or navigate beautiful potholes and pavements, or even walking upstairs, to name a few. You can contact the South African Guide Dogs Association, who have an orientation and mobility department with trained professionals who will teach you a safe and independent travel and also about daily living. Devices like electronic magnifiers, there are screen readers and wearable tech glasses are all available today, and they also are game changers. But believe you me, they are very expensive, and you also have to make sure that they are right for you. I use my Android smartphone together with a handheld magnifier, which is 6 times magnification, to read and type on my phone. Now, there are some very wonderful built-in accessible features on the phone, especially magnification. On the Android phone, there is TalkBack, and on the iPhone, VoiceOver, which lets you use a series of touches and swipes to listen to whatever is on the screen. You can adjust font and size and contrast on your phone, which will make it much easier for you. There are so many great tools out there. Apps like, let's say, Seeing AI, which can read text out loud, identify objects, and even describe people. Be My Eyes is a wonderful app. It connects users with sighted volunteers for visual support and video calls on a mobile device. All these things can be found on the Retina South African website, and please don't hesitate to contact Retina South Africa for any of the information that I'm imparting today.
That's a really good advice.
We also have the use of magnified glasses to use for the television, and another set of magnified glasses which are attached to a set of reading glasses so I can read fine print if I need to. Only recently have I learned to use my computer again, and I use a screen reader called NVDA, Non-Visual Desk Access. It's a free screen reader, and changed my keyboard to a yellow keyboard with a black background. I'm now able to work on documentation pertinent to the volunteer work that I do for Retina South Africa, and I'm on the governance and risk subcommittee, as Claude has told you, and the management committee. I'm now vice chairperson and a member of the EXCO, and am privileged to serve along you, Claude, in this organization, as it has sparked my passion to serve the community. I have been elected to serve on the Consumer Committee for the South African National Council for the Blind, so I am acquiring a broader knowledge of my disability at the same time.
Caryl, you are such an example to people who are not just sitting complaining, but getting out there and doing something. And if anybody wants more information, as you said, they should contact Retina South Africa at retinasa.org.za. So I'll repeat that, retinasa.org.za, and we will guide you in the right direction. And Caryl, what message would you like to share with our listeners who may be going through similar experiences as to what you have or are going through?
Well, I think I would like to tell everybody you're not alone and there is hope. Please visit your ophthalmologist or your medical professional regularly and take a list of questions with you to get any answers that you may want. They can also give you valuable advice on new treatments. There are resources and communities out there that can help. Low vision optometrists and specialist OTs are also a fountain of knowledge. Don't be afraid to reach out and ask for support. And that goes for your family members or your carers or your helpers. They can also reach out to us at Retina South Africa. Early action is important. Regular checkups a healthy diet using leafy vegetables, also exercise, and certainly do not smoke. This will all make a difference. And most importantly, focus on what you can do, not what you can't. There's still so much life to live and to enjoy. You can also pursue your hobbies. There's no reason to give them up. Just change the way you do them to fit in with your visual loss. I have a passion for collecting antique perfume bottles, and I do that because I'm intrigued by their past history. I collect crystals for their perceived healing properties and also for their connection to the earth. Their rock formations are just astonishing. I still do my scrapbooking, but I now have a teacher to help me. I love taking photographs, especially of my grandchildren and nature, to use in my scrapbooking. The reason is, of course, that I can then look at my photos afterwards and see those beautiful faces of my grandchildren. I'm also teaching myself to paint, and my new passion is travel.
Well, I think we'll have to revisit that travel and your story of your exciting travels in another podcast. So that's something to look forward to. So how has your role with Retina South Africa affected your life?
It has been incredibly fulfilling. I've met amazing people who understand what I'm going through, and we have been able to support one another. It's also given me a sense of purpose and the opportunity to make a difference in the lives of others.
So, Caryl, what advice would you give to someone who has just received this terrible diagnosis of AMD? Shocking diagnosis, I should say.
Take it one step at a time. It's a lot to process, but don't panic. There are resources and support systems available. Reach out to organizations like Retina South Africa, and don't be afraid to ask for help. That includes your support workers, your caregivers, or your family, friends, whatever. And remember, your diagnosis does not define you. You are more than your vision loss. Would I have wanted my life to be any different? I don't think so. My life has been shaped by the very nature of this disease. The challenges, the coping skills, the adaptations, the people that I've met along the way. All of these experiences have contributed to what I am today.
Wow, Caryl, we can understand now why you are coping so well. It's your indomitable spirit, your strength. You are such an amazing person and so motivated and inspiring. You inspire all of us. It is my personal joy to count you as an esteemed colleague and a friend. Retina South Africa is honoured to have you as our Deputy Chair. You inspire us all. So please, if anybody is inspired, please look at the other podcasts in this series under Retinal Realities. Go to our website, which we said is www.retinasa.org.za, and find a lot of information that can help you. But don't hesitate to reach out. As Caryl said, you are not alone. All of us, including Caryl and I, are here to help you cope and thrive. Thank you so much, Caryl.
Claudette, may I just say something to end this discussion? I would like to say that Retina South Africa saved my life. It changed my life in many, many ways. So why don't you out there come and join us and change your life?
Thank you, Caryl. You always, as usual, have the wisest words. Thank you, everybody. And this closes this edition of Retinal Realities. And again, thanks to our sponsor, Roche, for helping us create this much needed awareness of AMD, or age-related macular degeneration. Thank you.
And to everyone listening, please remember to subscribe to the series by clicking on the subscribe button on this page. This will help to keep this popular series going. All our podcasts are available on www.retinasa.org.za under the tab Learn. Thank you.